Okay, hello and welcome back. We are continuing with our live stream of our life, beginnings, and always. When I upload this on YouTube, I will include a link to buy the base game itself on Itch and Steam. When I get to the DLC parts of the game, I will include links to those as well. But I do not think I will get that far because I still have the base moments. So we are in step 2. We just made that movement, that jump from childhood to adolescence last week, or the previous video if you're watching this on YouTube. So we are playing a character that we can choose what they look like and their pronouns and their name. Even their last name. And we are best friends with Cove, this adorable little boy here. And he's sort of black. And with my character, I started out with them going by she, her pronouns, and then when we made the step from childhood to adolescence, we switched to they, them pronouns. I have not decided yet if they will switch to he, him pronouns, because figuring out your gender can be a process. So, I haven't decided fully yet, but it indicates that your family and Cove had no problem switching pronouns when you asked, and our friend that you've made, you didn't even they became your friend after you switched pronouns, and he has no problems calling you they, them. So that's cool. I like that acceptance, that there's not a big deal about you changing pronouns. It's acknowledged, but it's not a plot point. It's just there. So, that said, let's continue. Right, so this. Yes. Okay. These are the moments that you get with the base game. These ones on the bottom are the ones that you have to pay for, and yes, the base game is free. The DLC are not. The DLC are how they can afford to produce the base game for free. So just like with Andromeda 6, if you can donate money, especially on Itch, to get for the game, so you can get it for free. But if you want the DLC, if you want the extra goodies, you have to pay for them. So here we go. Wave. Hi. Obviously not a wave with your hands. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and we still had to unload everything from the trip before you could go enjoy the afternoon. Oh, don't I know it. Been there, done that. And if it's groceries, we get to help put groceries away. You carried another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, fresh carrots, and even half a watermelon. Watermelon. It's my favorite summer treat. Mom came out the front door and paused just ahead of you.
It's no trouble.
Need any help with that, Jules? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to. Okay. I always forget to grab my dice. Yes, please. It would be helpful. Yes, please. It's just too heavy. No, I've got it. You were doing fine. No, I've got it. You could just manage to hold it. You eagerly agreed with a nod of your head. You needed someone else to take it. You didn't say anything. You could finish the job yourself. No problem. Oh, boy. So that looks like at least a D6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, D6. Yes, please. It's just too heavy. Mom stepped forward to take the bag from the end, and he headed back to the car to grab a new one. This time we got a smaller bag, which was some fresh bread and a couple of packets of dried pasta sparrows. Ooh, that sounds like, I think that's zucchini. I forget what it's called. Like pasta. Okay. Fusilli. Or, yeah. Looks like in general it's called fusilli. That's the Italian term. Because I'm a nerd like that, I had to look it up. Ooh, there's also gnelli or tortilletti. But most likely it's fusilli. What is rotini? Okay, that's me going down a rabbit hole. Wasn't that? Focusing on the thing. You passed Mom again on your way back to the house, and she gave you an encouraging grin and rustled her fingers through your blue hair. Yep, that's right. You changed your hair color, too. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around inside for the contents with a sigh. How much is left? Still a few more bags. With a half an apple, Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries, and you retreated out of the kitchen before you become the target of her bad mood. Teenagers, right?
Be careful.
Careful rules. You hadn't been looking where you were going and felt right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Oops. Sorry. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked. She grinned at the bad joke as she continued through the door. Outside, Mom had started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze.
That's a shame.
I had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. Beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. Ooh, these are some good ones. Alright. Why did I put the dice back? Here we go. Let's just pour them all out. There we go. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 0. Yeah, it is. I kind of like this one though. Things like today are my favorite. I like it nice and sunny. But not too sunny. I like having a breeze, kind of cool it down. So I grew up in Southern California. I'm used to bright, sunny, dry weather. Ma smiled at you, her amber eyes glinting with affection. You and your sister are a lot alike in that way. And me too. You gave her a familiar look. But eventually you turned back to help her with the last of the bag. Oh, hey, Cove. Yes, Mom was way over at Cove, who had just exited his front door. The surfboard popped up under one arm. Let me see. Surfboard and wetsuit, where might you be off to on this beautiful day? Cove flinched at being called to so suddenly. I didn't realize there were people out here already, but he quickly recovered. Yes. Nice. Good one, Mrs. Hunt. Across the pavement to properly say hello to you and your mom. Hello, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous. So smile. Please have people around who shared in his hobby.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. You want to hang out there later, Jules? Yeah, I'll meet you there when we're done. Cool. Can I help out with anything?
No.
This is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Jules can catch up as soon as they're finished here. Alright, I'll see you. Yeah. You watched your scope headed off towards the beach, unable to hide your grin, knowing that you'd be joining him soon. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. We're gonna go surfing. Seriously, if I lived at the beach like this, I would totally know how to swim and surf and all that. So much fun. Been practicing your surfing more and more lately. I'm probably ready to go. After grabbing your board and getting everything ready, you headed down to the beach.
Have fun.
It would be cute to have Cove teach you. Now I'm torn. Okay. Here we go. D4. 1 or 3, 2 or 4. 2. Okay, we're gonna have Cove teach us. We weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing, you didn't know how. So the same thing to your parents. When Mom laughed a little, Mom gave you a smile.
Well,
But you'll just have to go there and see what happens. Cove must have been so excited to invite you there that they forgot you don't surf. Or he's hoping you'll go to watch him so he can show off. Oh yes, I used to do that. I know, hon. Actually, Jules' situation reversed and I was stuck on the shore too. You noticed what I was doing? Yes, after the very first time. It's not a subtle move. So embarrassing. I was so impressed.
aww.
Thank you. Wow, Ma.
Hey.
Hey, what are you still doing here? Go on, have your fun. You're only young ones. But don't do anything I wouldn't have. Okay. At your parents' spotting, you hurried to leave the house and head down to the beach. When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft calls of seagulls. You took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your dark brown skin warm in the sun. There was a small setup nearby with the towels and sunscreen and a bottle of water. It must be Cove. You saw Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge. Board propped up beside him. You strolled up beside him. Hey, I'm here. Jules. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. I wouldn't have missed it. He chuckled shyly at your insistence. Okay. Then he cast his eyes out towards the waves. What am I supposed to do while you surf? Oh, you look pretty embarrassed of that laid out kid saying
Don't worry about it.
I don't have to go out. I'll stay with you on shore. Or if you want, you could use one of my other boards. I could teach you. I owe you that much, right? I was the one who always promised to show you about surfing. Sure, he's offered the option to you for pretty much as long as you've known him. Your text he remembered. Yep, this is exactly what I was aiming for. You do it. Let's surf. Cool. So set up. Cove left up for the shore and then returned with an extra board under his arm in no time at all. He paddled out into the sea to where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin.
It's nice.
Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today. I actually used that in a story. I had a character teach another one how to surf. He smiled at you and he couldn't help but smile back. You got totally confused as I don't know how to surf. Until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and inadvertently splashed you. Hey! Sorry. The apology did not come across as especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. We'll splash him back. You laughed, but waited for an opening for revenge. The second he looked away, you kicked back, staying him.
Seriously?
Is that any way to treat someone trying to help? I came out here to teach you, and I was just following your example. He tried to keep a straight face, but ended up looking away. The water you flicked at him landed in a tiny droplets in his hair. Then here's another lesson. He stepped too deliberately this time. He used his full leg and an impressive curtain of water hit you in the face. You lost your balance and scrambled to keep hold of the board. You just managed to stay on, but it was close. Cove went. Are you okay? That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm fine. We should do the real teaching. Yeah. He chuckled awkwardly and shook some water out of his ear. With that, Cove started telling you all the tips and tricks of how to stay on a surfboard. He demonstrated both good and bad posture and explained where you needed to put your weight. Like this? Wiggled your body so that you were more in the center of your board. Cove nodded. Yep, just like that. The little lesson continued and I'd say one of the first two, because I want it to be something they can do together. So 1 or 3, 2 or 4. 3. Things clicked with you quickly, which, considering that I kind of been leaning towards your character being an athlete, it makes sense. You may not have been entirely sure of yourself before, but that was rapidly changing. You were definitely getting it. Since you'd spent so much time working on balance and stable waters, you wondered when you'd actually get to catch some waves. You brought it up to Cove, and he nodded. If you think you're ready, go for it. You'll be great. All right. With that, you graduated from Cove's class, and soon you were able to surf together more casually, even if he was still better at it. He has been doing it longer. What an afternoon. Okay, maybe I wouldn't learn surfing, but I would definitely pick up swimming. The setting sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew you should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last way to get it back to the beach. There, you picked up the surfboard and gave it a quick once-over. He followed behind you to the shore. He put his board with his other things and grabbed his towel to start drying off. As he wrestled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The waves were beautiful in the distance, and the shadows around you deepened. There was no need for words between you two, as you both enjoyed the sight for a moment. They broke the silence. The waves were good today, I think. Perfect for surfing. He nodded mildly. Chat a little more until the conversation truly died out, and all you heard was the rhythmic sound of waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over. Not yet. He scowled into the distance as the sun exiting the sky with a personal sense. Don't you think it should be longer? Yeah. Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not going to go home yet. I want to go somewhere. I don't know. But we're still tripping in salt water, so you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach, and not much else. It wasn't a good idea for him to lend a surfboard around town, either. Okay. Not quite sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three. Yeah, I want to do something too. Cove nodded with a smile. Then he looked down the shore with wide, shining eyes. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is. The park. The park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays if she was looking for you. So many times her times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. Not the idea to go when he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there, a little. I'm saying that as long as it is. We're gonna tag along. Okay, let's go. It took a minute to put his stuff in order to make sure to get it all, though it didn't take much care to shake the sand off. You dealt with your old things. We're gonna take turns to pack the bag. The two of you finished at about the same time. At the final touch, Cove plucked his glasses off the beach and put them back on his face. He looked more like himself now. He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take too long at all. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared just yet when you made your arrival. Cove stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over top. By now, the two of you were mostly dry. Still a breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. So idly went over to the monkey bars, grabbed them feet flat on the ground, and pretended to go across. You had definitely grown in the past few years. You had also outgrown the monkey bars. You were way too tall to play on them properly anymore. Not me. I'm short. I've always been short. That's why I made my character tall, because I can't be. When you got to a bar in the middle, Cove pulled himself up and through and sat on top of the bars. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. We're going to join him. You didn't even have to stretch to pull yourself up. It was a rather tall seat to cover on, but it worked. Cove scooted over to give you more room to spread out. These ones bars aren't made for two teams sitting on top of them. Guess what? Smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here. Right, it was true. There was a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up.
No way.
I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place. You're taken aback and blink for a second before you realize he was quoting Jeremy. Parents don't know anything, Cove chuckled back at Mew, amused. He looked around. The old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, and the beach, these were your stomping grounds. I wondered how Cove actually felt. How much was his joke just a joke, and how much was sincere dislike of this place? Moving had never been his choice. As a kid, of course it wasn't his choice. Okay. We're gonna go with one of the first two. So, 1 or 3, 2 or 4. One. Do you actually like this neighborhood? You really have to ask that, Jules. Her just legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate. There's no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Okay. 1 or 6, 2 or 7, 3 or 8, 4 or 9, 5 or 10, or 0. Okay, those are dices. Yeah, I like it too. A contented feeling fell between the two of you. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone, and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. I wish days were longer. I wish this day was longer. She kicked out and made him look like a pouty child. Oh well. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. Clambered down the monkey bars yourself. You lowered yourself more slowly than Cove and barely made a sound when your feet reached the ground. Cove grabbed his surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. His water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was a quiet night, and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was a soft expression, and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Everything okay? Just remember when we were younger, it used to be such a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall, if you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, well, your mom and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face as the two of you walked side by side, reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for today, Jules. Thanks for the awesome day. Cove waved and you both turned around to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. Okay, stay. Yes, I say after everyone. Okay, and yeah, not sure how many we'll get through. Growing. Early in the afternoon, you found yourself in the living room with your family. It was another one of those summer days where it felt too hot to go outside, but it's too uncomfortable to do anything inside either. The air conditioner was cranked up as far as you could negotiate it, but everyone was still being pretty lazy. You and your mom and sister were lounging around while the TV blared on in the background, ignored by all of you. You specifically were spread eagle on the carpet, sitting cross-legged on the floor, perched on the arm of the couch, draped over the coffee table. Let's go with the first one. Stared up at the ceiling, your eyes in focus, and mind clear of all thoughts. Elizabeth broke the silence with a loud groan. He blessed over. She was lying on her back over the couch, massaging her calf with one hand. I feel terrible. I'm dying in this house, and my legs hurt. Mom looked up from the magazine she barely been flipping through and frowned, concerned. Did you have strained them somehow? Elizabeth wailed briefly, then flopped onto her side with a heavy sigh. I don't know. It just hurts.
Sweetie.
Oh, sweetheart. Mom got up from her seat at the kitchen table and walked over to your sister. She did a light pat on Elizabeth's shoulder sympathetically. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Maybe it's growing pains. You could be taller by next fall. Elizabeth sniffed. She didn't look impressed by Ma's assessment. I'd rather be my height forever than deal with this. Mom walked over too, leaning against the back of the couch. Kids, they grow up so fast. Elizabeth would have a home of her own, maybe with a nice husband and some kids, if she feels like it. She sniffled loudly and wiped at her eye, but you could tell that it was just a bit. You tilted your head. Even though you knew Elizabeth liked guys, it was hard to imagine her with a boyfriend or husband. She only seemed invested in hanging out with her group of friends, not chasing after boys. Mom must agree with you because she shook her head.
No.
Let's not exaggerate. She's still practically a child. But if you ever do pursue romance, Elizabeth, you can come talk to me about it. Definitely. We're always willing to lend an ear. Elizabeth's features contorted in disgust.
No.
No way. I am not talking to my moms about that. Mom's jaw dropped, then she gasped in an exaggerated display of shock. Her hand came up to rest against her chest. Ma only grinned. She didn't look offended by Elizabeth's quick response at all. It really wouldn't be so bad to come to us. I know what it's like to have a crush on a pretty boy or two. I don't, but I can listen anyway. Okay, so that gives us 2 kids right there. That indicates that Ma is bi and Mom is lesbian. That's awesome. That's cool. But I like that they're just so casual about it. That's cool. Ma started at her own joke while Ma burst into giggles. They were having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. Elizabeth certainly wasn't feeling the amusement because she rolled her eyes and sat up.
Thanks.
I'm going back to my room. I'd rather melt alone, thanks. She strode off towards the staircase, taking the steps 2 at a time. Mom stared after her, then turned to each other with raised eyebrows. What? Looked like we scared her off with all that romance talk.
Well?
Hey, well, we'll get her next time. You watched them consider with some surprise. Obviously your mom's like women. We had no idea that Mom liked guys, too. Today was the first time you'd heard her say something like that. Ma, I always thought you were like ladies. You like guys, too? Ma turned to you, happy to bring you into things now that you've spoken of. She smiled and nodded. That's right. I like both. But I like her mom most everywhere. She's special. Ma's smile turned all soft in the corners like it usually did when she looked at her. She pinched Mom's cheek lightly. Mom reached up to cup a hand over Ma's. Even when Ma stopped pulling her cheek, their heads remained clasped together. Ah, this is so sweet. I love it.
You're fantastic.
Thanks, Lonnie. I think most women have charms, but no one can hold a candle to you. Oh, swoon. Aw, pat Ma. Ma beamed and kissed all over her cheek. She'd been pinching before. I'm sorry, we're going to go with my personal opinion. She thought the moment was very sweet. She helped herself to say, no matter how often your moms express their feelings for each other, it was always nice to witness it. Mom went back to you, letting Mom's hand go with a brief squeeze. She fell down next to you and Mom followed suit, soon after. You know, I'm also here to listen to you whenever you're ready. That offer isn't just for Elizabeth. She bumped her shoulder with yours, a reassuring smile in place. There's no rush, of course. You can take all the time you need to figure out what or who you want.
It's okay.
Don't think you have to stick with whatever you come up with right now, either. Life's nice like that. It can change and you can learn. Mom nodded her agreement. The two of us are happy to hear you out, and you may be able to relate better than you think. Still, we will push the topic, at least most of the time. She gave Ma the weakest scantling look possible, being unable to stop grinning. Let's just say thanks. Let's think about it.
Wonderful.
Good, that's all we asked for. Yeah, I like that there's, going back, I like that there's that option. I'd rather pass on all that. So, hinting at being a romantic at least. Because there is a difference between romantic attraction and sexual attraction. And it sounds like they're talking more about romantic attraction. But yeah, we'll stick with thanks.
Wonderful.
That's all we asked for. Mom let out another exaggerated sniffle. It didn't take a genius to realize it was fake. First, Elizabeth, and as usual, you have to grow up. Yes, children tend to do that from time to time. Like, my sister's friends are having kids and stuff, and kids are growing up, and every time someone brings up the fact that the kids are growing up, I'm like, nope, they're still kids, they're still little. But I can't say that for much longer because the kids are growing taller. The parents quickly grew absorbed in the conversation about rearing kids. You just got as your cue to leave, getting up so you could spend some time alone in your room too. They let you go without problem, so you made your way up the stairs. You ran out of sight once you stepped into your room. It was just as sweltering in here as it was in the living room, possibly even a little warmer. It's upstairs, so of course it would be. You couldn't even open your window since it was hotter outside, and you just let the AC out. Yep. Yeah, at our house, we have an automatic heater and air conditioner. And during the summer, we usually open up the house, and the air conditioner is set to come on at a certain temperature. So we judge how hot it is by how early in the day the air conditioner comes on. Once the air conditioner comes on, we close up the house. We close all the windows, all the doors, make sure we keep that cool air-conditioned air inside. You dragged your feet as you crossed the room. You checked your current sheltering condition in the mirror as you passed by it. You thought back to the conversation you had downstairs about growing up and all that. After a moment, you stepped a bit closer to the mirror. You stared into it, then turned away from the surface to look down at yourself. You were definitely growing, all right. It was weird thinking about how you were now in comparison to what you've been when you were younger. When it came to your body, Well, we're definitely more towards the athletics, so we'll get muscle definition. Shift it to the side. Your head still facing forward and continue the self-evaluation from this viewpoint. Cool. Fine female. What you were born as impacted the way your body grew, but it wasn't really what really determined who you were. When it came to your figure, cool. This is awesome. I love this. 13. Where was I at? 13. I actually started developing early. Not fun. And the specialist we saw was worried that if I started to develop too soon, I wouldn't grow as much as I should. But, I mean, my whole family is short, so there's not much room for growth. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Starting to develop breast. I really want to do that last one, so we'll do that. You were young right now and had a body that was still developing, but you were hopeful about the future. You reached over and massaged your scar with one hand, staring intently at it in the mirror. But now you knew that it was there to stay. You took a step backwards, finished with your impromptu inspection. You locked eyes with your reflection and cocking your head to the side. All things considered, self-conscious. It took you a moment to realize that you were frowning at yourself. You glanced away from the mirror. You shook your head briefly, putting thoughts of what you were turning into out of your mind. This was the time to focus on such things. You had to find something to do in this heat. You shuffled over to your bed, collapsed onto the mattress, your brows scratched up and thought. You pressed slowly into your annoyance, possible ideas about what to do, or few and far between. You weren't sure how long it had been, but eventually you heard your mom call you from downstairs. Jules, there's a call for you. Cove wants to come over. Is that all right? You perked up at the words, sitting up in bed. You yelled back to her immediately. Yeah! Got your feet and head downstairs, eager to see your friend. You needed to go downstairs soon anyway, because your empty stomach told you it was almost time for lunch. Just as you reached down the stairs, you saw Mom put the phone back on the receiver. She glanced at Ma, leaning her hip against the kitchen counter.
What a pickle.
Well, here comes trouble. You better prepare yourself. Ma clicked her tongue in clear disapproval of Mom's words. He's such a good boy. Cove never wants to cause trouble. He can just be a bit thoughtless and impulsive. Oh, I know. He's very sweet, but what makes it more of a problem? That's what makes it more of a problem. If a stranger or some kid from school was egging Jules on to behave badly, I think we could both agree that they did the right thing in the end. But if Cove Holden got into a reckless move and wanted Jules to be a part of the ride, can we really be certain of what Cove would make then?
Yes.
I think so. Jules helped Cove settle down. He would have gotten himself in even more trouble without them.
Thanks.
You have a point. Ma just laughed, and she turned away, still flirting, her eyes met yours. She blinked in surprise, then waved at you with an easy grin. Mom looked over, now seeing you at the furthest door of the stairs, and thought, Doris? Yeah. Oh, I didn't expect you to come down already, Jules. I just wanted to let you know what was happening. This is alright. Well, if I hadn't come now, then I wouldn't have heard everything you said.
Pam.
Ooh, you got cut, Pam.
What?
What? You were saying things too. I didn't say anything I wouldn't have told to Jules directly. Oh, you're unbelievable. You shook your head at your parents, even as you fought a blush when you remembered just what they'd been discussing. Alright, you got me. I'm sorry for being gossipy and saying that about your friend. I can be bad too.
Let's go.
We'll get out of your way now. Mom sighed and marked defeat and made her way down the hall. Ma followed after her with a hushed giggle. Now you are alone in the living room, tasked with waiting for Cove. And that was just fine with you. If it hadn't been so hot outside, you would have visited him at his house a long time ago. Took a seat at the kitchen counter and settled in for the wait. As expected, there was a knock on the door a few minutes later. When you got up and answered it, your neighbor was standing on the other side. He came in once you stepped aside to let him pass, giving a little wave. Sorry. I have a thing for falsified arms. I don't know why. Greet him with as you typically did. What is our typical greeting? Oh boy. I'm gonna skip the noogie part. It's weird. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four. With the head. Awesome. You groaned and wriggled in your arms like a fish out of water. Stop! It's too hot for this. You didn't take pity on him. You knew he was kidding. If he really wanted to get out of the hug, he would have done it already. Then she let him go, smirking to yourself. Alright, I'm done. Cove sighed and wiped in his face a bit. You know the sheen of sweat across his brow. You must be glad to be back in an air-conditioned place, even if he only had to walk across the street to get there. What's going on? Why'd you want to come over? I don't want to do anything, not when it's like this. Mr. Bailey to the humid air hanging around.
Oh.
I thought I could at least do nothing with you. Aww. That's a sign of true friendship. You can do nothing together and be happy. Let's go with this. I was thinking the exact same thing. He grinned and he smiled back, and that was all there was to it. Both of you were on the same page. Have you had lunch yet? I was gonna do it soon. He shook his head.
Not really.
I haven't really felt like eating with the heat. I probably should have lunch. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Yeah, my dad's the same way. If it's hot, he doesn't eat. Yeah, I get like that sometimes. My parents don't like it when I do that, though. Mine don't either. They'll ask if I ate here when I go back home. That's when you head into the kitchen, cross your arms, and glance around, wondering what you should scrounge up for a meal. Yeah, because when you're hot, you don't want to do anything because eating will generate heat. Because it also depends on what you eat. I don't want to eat anything that's warmed up. Is there something cold or not cooked? Yeah. With a bit of back and forth, the two of you conclude that you should read the fridge and cabinet in order to make sandwiches. With that settled, you had planned to decide on the outside layers first. There's a wide variety to choose from since everyone in your house had their own favorites. Yeah, same with my family. We get a little bit of everything because different tastes. There was white bread, wheat bread, sourdough, mixed grains, gluten-free bread, and pita pockets.
Hey.
Did you take the grain one for me? Sure. Reach for the mixed grains, then made your decision. Pita pockets. That sounds fun. What about the pita pocket too? Setting both items on the sewer counter. Then you had to decide what main direction the sandwich would go in. Truly savory. I have a sweet tooth. I would normally go sweeter, but that's what decides. So 1 or 3, 2 or 4. 4. Savory. Something savory would make it feel like a real meal. That's a specific ingredients. Let's see. I don't know. I tried myself, but others might. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, there we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 0. 7. Tricky. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Avocado. Ooh. Okay, and then roll a dice. I'm rolling a d6. If I get the 6, I'll roll again. 3. So avocado and red onion. Jokey's. Ooh, I forgot pickles. Did I skip pickles? No, I didn't. Okay, and then 3. So 1 or 4, 2 or 5, 3 or 6. And we'll just pick one kind of cheese. 3. Mozzarella. Okay, moving on to condiments. For the finishing touch, we're intended to top the sandwich with mustard, mayo, pesto, hot sauce, salt and pepper, ranch. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Salt and pepper. And that was everything. You nodded to yourself with a quiet hum, satisfied. The two of you bustled around the kitchen, opening and closing things in order to collect everything you needed for your individual sandwiches. Focused intently on assembling your own, for the most part. When you were close to being done, though, you glanced over at your neighbor. He was putting his sandwich together delicately, his brow furrowed and seemed sticking out just barely. There were open drawers of peanut butter and honey near his plate, as well as a banana peel. So he was making a peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich on mixed grain bread. Personally, that does not sound good to me. Well, maybe the peanut butter part. But we don't have banana sweats because my mom's allergic to them. But even the Cove Holden makes sense. So we don't get bananas very often. So, but 1 or 4, 2 or 5, 3 or 6. 2. I didn't think much about it. It wasn't that surprising or interesting. Curiosity satiated to turn back to your plate and finish your recreation. By the time you were done, Cove had already cleaned up his workstation. He turned to face you, studying your sandwich briefly. Small smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. He guessed it didn't look inedible to him at least. Done? Yeah.
Cool.
You waited as you quickly returned the ingredients and cleaned up your utensils, and the two of you collected your respective plates. Both agreed on heading upstairs to hang out in your room. Yeah, when I was younger, we weren't allowed to eat in our rooms. I think it was just Mom and Dad was trying to keep down the chance of us having ants in our rooms. You and Cove entered your bedroom while balancing your food on the plate. Nothing fell, so it was a successful trip. Cove took a seat on the ground, stretching out on the hardwood floor in an attempt to keep a bit cooler. He immediately took a big bite of his sandwich, chewed and hummed happily. This sandwich is really good. At least that's something. At this point, you sat down and started on your own sandwich. You nodded. You were enjoying yours too. Yeah. Personally, I would not have picked that combination of ingredients, but that's what the dice are for. Obviously, you were a pro at making sandwiches. He leaned back on his hands while chewing and glancing around. His every movement was sluggish. Want to do something? It seemed the plan of not doing anything at all had already worn thin, despite his lack of enthusiasm. Okay, there it is. 1 or 6, 2 or 7, 3 or 8, 4 or 9, 5 or 10. Class 0. 2. Like what? He rolled his head back, looking up at the ceiling. What about tic-tac-toe? That was a nice idea. Put your plate to the side and pulled out some markers and scrap paper. As you laid everything on the floor, he scooted back to make more room in front of you. Phil picked up one of the markers with his right hand while keeping a half slice of sandwich in his left.
All right.
I'm going to be extra so you can go first. I think that's fair. Okay, that works for me. Prepare to note down your first move. Your marker has an over the paper. I always go for corners. After the first round, you were about to take another bite of your sandwich when a thought occurred to you. I wonder if anyone turned off the TV downstairs. The TV, it was on earlier, but no one was really watching. Everyone started leaving the living room. I know I didn't turn it off. It might still be on downstairs with no one there. Cole smiled crookedly at that.
Oh.
Before a show playing with no one around to enjoy it, what was it? Squinted out and didn't know this is a stranger called the show's name. I feel like it was some kind of crime-solving drama. Cove nodded sleepily. His eyes closed and opened again with some effort. Can you give any specifics? Maybe I can guess it. Well, you rested your chin on your open palm, groggily thinking as hard as you could. Remember there was a woman with long blonde hair, I think? She was the one solving crimes, like as a detective or something. There were scenes in a police station because someone got arrested? You lapsed into silence, and both of you thoughtful, and Cove chuckled. It wasn't that funny, but you just joined in the laughter anyway.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. I mean, honestly, any of that could apply to almost any crime-solving show. Me neither, and I just saw it. Another round came and went, and Cove crumbled as he readjusted himself. His features were twisted in a grimace. It feels so sticky. Oh, I'm going to be stuck to this floor forever now. Looks like we'll both be stuck here forever then. I'm sticky too.
Right.
Even when we're gray and old, we'll still be right here. Yeah, we have to accept our fate. You giggled under your breath at such a bizarre scenario. Cove cracked a smile as well. Then you returned to the game. Cove spoke up once more, catching your attention. He screamed out a piece of paper between you, his expression thoughtful.
Huh.
You know, tic-tac-toe is such a weird name for a game. What does it even mean? Let's go to the first one. Maybe they named it that because people put it with ticks and tacks? Cove raised a skeptical brow. He bit back a laugh in vain seriousness. Makes sense, because they probably didn't have paper and marker back then. But what about the toes? You couldn't say anything to that. He had you there. With no answer to be found, you returned to the game. Oops, you won. Were you even trying? Not really. He smiled at you in an amused way. You somehow weren't surprised by that, despite Cove being the one who suggested the game in the first place. He started to yawn, his hand coming up to cover his mouth. It quickly transitioned into a small laugh. You understood why. Yawning just as he said he was feeling disinterested was kind of a funny coincidence. Laughed along with him. Cove just grinned and flopped onto his back, leaving his marks on the floor beside him. He stayed seated, looking at your friend over as he stretched himself out. You really are so chill, man. Cove snickered a bit at the random talk, propped himself up onto his elbows to meet your gaze. Why are you even bringing that up? He shrugged. It makes perfect sense to you to bring it up. ADHD mood. Just making random observations. And besides, it's not like you're talking about anything in particular. My moms were talking about me and Elizabeth growing up, getting bigger and stuff.
Oh?
What kind of stuff? Well, Mom only likes women, and Mom likes women too, but not just women. Yeah? So the two of you were engaged in conversation. Cove got back into a sitting position, brought a knee up, and rested his arm atop it. A wistful expression overtook his face. I wonder when I'll know how to feel about that kind of thing. You don't know? Cove shook his head. I've heard at some point you're supposed to start liking types of people, guys or girls or whoever.
I don't know.
I haven't. Nothing's changed. Maybe I have to grow up more. Maybe you just don't like anybody. Maybe you like all types of people. That's normal too. Cove seemed to appreciate that thought, if the smile that appeared on his lips was any indication. I never had a conversation like this, but when I was a teenager, it was still being gay or lesbian was still very much under the radar. You didn't really talk about it. It was only when I got older and into college that it started becoming more excessive. But I like seeing conversations like this in video games because it shows that it's becoming more common for kids to talk about something like this instead of just wondering. Okay, what about you? Who do you like? Turn his attention to you, but can encourage you. Oh, I love these choices. You start to have a physical attraction in a general way. You only seem to feel physical attraction in specific cases and situations. You didn't really have physical interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had an interest in people physically. So this is talking about, to me, this is talking about sexual attraction. It's not necessarily talking about romantic attraction, because there is a difference. And sexual is you want to be with that person, you want to have sex with them. Obviously, romantic, you want to be their partner, you want to spend time with them, whatever it is. So here we go. Actually, I am debating, do I want to leave it up to the dice or do I want to choose something on my own? Because I have, I did play through Arcade Spirit with, roll mode, basically. And do I want to do that again here? Because at this point, I'm still fond of Cove. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but there is going to be another game in a similar vein to this one. And this time the childhood friend is going to be a girl. And they're going to change the system around a bit. So I'll play the demo for that once we finish these. Anyway. Physical attraction generally. Physical attraction specifically. One, two, three, four. Three. If I stick with that, that would be this one. They don't have a physical interest in other people. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So we can specify sexual attraction and romantic attraction separately. I like that. So we're gonna go with one of the first two. So 1 or 3, 2 or 4. 1. Romantic attraction in a general way. Specifically when it comes to how you felt towards boys. Yeah, we'll go with this one. You weren't physically interested, but you'd be happy to have a romantic relationship with a guy. And how you felt towards girls. So, this is so wonderful. I love this. You can specify if you're ace or arrow, neither or one. Both, neither or one or the other. And you can choose whether you're attracted to boys or girls. Let's go with this one. For people who are exclusively male or female. Yeah. Yes, we'll stick with this one. We'll just go with the fact that the idea that there can. You return your attention to Cove. He was waiting patiently for your response. Let's explain to Cove, because, I mean, he's your best friend. Who's the best person to help you figure this stuff out? Explain how you felt to Cove. Not understanding your attempts to describe how you felt. It's nice to have people who supported you when it came to who you liked. And you knew he accepted you for who you were too. He had never treated you differently because of your identity. He scratched the back of his head, sheepish. I'm not really sure how we ended up talking about all this. All that when we started out just playing tic-tac-toe. It was good, I think. I think so too. Cove chuckled a little bashfully. He glanced around, clearly scrambling for something else to say. So, have you heard from Lee recently? Yeah, actually, I'm really glad you brought it up. The conversation took a lighter turn after that, and I felt like you got closer that afternoon. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. Sooner or later, the air cooled down a bit as a result. You pulled yourself off the floor, as did Cove, with some minor complaints. You both stretched your arms, groaning, and yawned into your hands. You glanced out your window briefly, taking in the soft reds, pinks, and purples of the late afternoon sky. Somehow you had made it through the scorching hot day in one piece. Cove turned towards you, motioning towards your window with his chin. Wanna go outside? It might be better out there than it is here now. Sounds good. I could really use some fresh air. The two of you took your time heading downstairs. You stopped briefly to grab a drink of water, then continued on your way. You stepped outside, one after the other, your destination being the familiar hills behind your house. This time of day was quiet outside. The flowers blew gently in the wind, petals trembling but stubbornly hanging in there. You felt the breeze cool your heated skin and you relaxed your shoulders. Cove closed his eyes, releasing a deep breath. I really love it out here. I do too. Cove smiled. Tendrils of his hair danced with the wind. The beat passed. His gaze didn't stray from your own. His voice was impossibly soft and he spoke up again. I'm glad I met you, Jules. You're really important to me, you know? Mighty mo. Okay, do blush, just do the same. It's nice of you to say. Smile silently. You're being too sweet. Special to me. Yeah, let's go this way. I feel the same. The voice came out equally delicate. From the way his features brightened, though, you knew he heard you. Then Cove rested an arm on one of your shoulders, leaning against you. Even as the sun disappeared completely and the sky darkened, you and Cove remained side by side for as long as you possibly could. Yay! I think I can get one more in. Oops, wait, got to save it. Family! The sun warmed your skin from its place in the sky and you closed your eyes, enjoying the mix of the heat with the pleasant breeze that drifted past you. You and Lee had spread out a blanket on top of one of the hills behind your house and had been relaxing there for a while now. Excuse me, I don't know why that happened. Lee came over earlier in the day. While a range of activities have been discussed, from staying home, heading down to the beach, a picnic on the hill have been the choice of both saddle lines. A small spread was laid out in front of you, shone bottled water, soft drinks, salad chips, and sliced fruit. You sat up from your first snack, listening to Lee talk away about the musical she had gotten to see a few days ago. It was unbelievable. They were singing, dancing, and crazy stunts, and it was all done live, right in front of my face. Maybe one day we could go together. I've got to see more shows like that. Smiles at Lee's enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing and performing. She was good at it, too. You'd gotten the chance to hear her sing a couple of tunes, and you knew she put a lot of effort into it. Good question. Okay. One, two, three, four. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. We're gonna do that again. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. We're gonna do it again. One. You also like to sing, but you're very good. That didn't stop you from doing it, though. I wonder if maybe we could put on our own shows. Think of how fun it'd be. We could perform for our parents and ask our friends and some other people to come and watch too. It'd totally work. That's not a good idea. It'd be no fun for you, and you couldn't imagine anyone wanting to watch a show that a couple of teens have randomly come up with.
Are you sure?
I'm really super sure you have so many skills you could show off to the masses. I'd rather do something else. Lee seemed a little disappointed, but she nodded and respected your wishes all the same. What did you have in mind? The two of you lay back on the blanket and lay in the sun, throwing ideas back and forth and what you could fill your time with. The beach was nearby, so you could go swimming or collect shells, or find something to do back at home after all. In the end, nothing was tempting enough to move you from your current position, so you continued chatting with Lee and nibbling on your snacks while the sun traveled in the sky and overhead.
All right.
So, how are your neighbors doing? You haven't spoken about them lately. You knew Lee wasn't talking about neighbors generally or down the street. She wanted to hear about the Holdens across the road. It was no secret that she liked to keep up to date on what was happening with them, or more specifically, Cove. There weren't many other people your age around to talk about. They're okay. They're great. That's good. I hope I get to see Cove again. She was wanting something juicier, but it couldn't be helped. We love to chat about others' relationships, so we'd always ask you for the details on people you both knew. Hey, did you want to see if Cove would join the picnic? Okay. 1 or 3, 2 or 4? 4. I like it just being us sometimes. We lit up, her smile spread across her face. Yeah, we're the best. The sun slowly began to set, the sky turning a rosy pink and then warm orange. Too bad Derek isn't in the neighborhood today. I like him. Oh boy. I have a feeling this is going to affect your... Yeah, he is a good person. I knew you'd think so. So exactly how much do you like him? Or maybe there's someone else that I haven't heard of yet. Lee wriggled her eyebrows at you suggestively, knew exactly what she was implying. Okay. 1 or 4, 2 or 5, 3 or 6. 1. Lee huffed in disappointment, pursing her lips together. Darn, but you promised to tell me if that changes, right? I'll do it for you. I'll tell.
Yeah.
It's a deal, then. Speaking of crushes, there is one boy I think is pretty cute. Leaning back on her elbows and listened as Lee talked about her crush, all in great detail. It's nice to have her telling you a little gossip for once, rather than always trying to get it out of you. Finally, you both decided to pack everything up and head back home for the evening. Upon walking through the front door, you were met by your mom and Elizabeth hung around each other in the living room. Tension hung thick in the air as the three of them turned to you and Lee, frowning slightly. You had interrupted something. Exactly what, you weren't sure. Hello?
Oh.
Hi, Jewel. Hello, Lee. Welcome back. The room felt quiet again, with no one quite knowing what to say. He felt incredibly awkward. But the silence didn't last long. You don't have to stop just because those two are here. There's no reason to try keeping it a secret. Elizabeth was mad, with her arms folded defensively over her chest. Her mom nodded in agreement with her.
Well...
Elizabeth was asking about her parents. The biological ones. The world's going around you at the minute. She couldn't understand. Why was this happening now? When you left at least, she shuffled her feet uncomfortably, as though she didn't know if she should be there or not anymore. You didn't know either. Your moms had always been open and honest about the fact that neither of them had given birth to you or your sister, but the details hadn't been fully explained before. Aha! So we're adopted. That's what allows you to pick whatever appearance you want for your character. That's sweet. But, in some ways, being adopted is kind of better because, in a way, it means that your parents wanted you. They picked you. But I have kind of been wondering about that. Had they gotten a sperm donor and one of them married you? Or did they adopt and never got her answer? Adopted. It makes sense though. Elizabeth didn't know a lot about her biological parents and wanted to know more. You just had never thought you'd accidentally stumble into it. Elizabeth looked at your parents expectantly. She wasn't going to let the unintentional interruption derail things. We don't want to keep that information from either of you. It's your right to know your past, so we did want to wait until you asked them to know yourselves. Well, it's happening now, so... Your mom showed a nervous glance, and Ma took in a quick breath before speaking again. I adopted you from the Philippines when you were just a baby. Elizabeth dropped her arms, her eyebrows shooting upward in surprise. What? Wait, I wasn't born here?
No.
No, you weren't. You could clearly see that your sister was appalled by this information. You struggled even more with what to do or how to react. Am I going to have to pass some tests to even be a citizen?
No.
No, you were adopted into the country. We'll take care of things. You're already a citizen. You have nothing to worry about. That's a valid question. I followed all the laws when it came to bringing a child into the U.S., and nothing could be held against you. Elizabeth sighed, placated with the information, but still far from happy. Who are my parents? These people. Why did they put me up for adoption in the first place? Now softly put her hands over Elizabeth's shoulders, trying to provide some support before she gave her the answer.
I'm
so sorry. Your parents were reported to have died. They didn't go into details on the specifics of how, but you were an orphan. I wish I had better news for you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was torn between emotions. Her eyes filled with tears as she threw her hands in the air, sailing on in rage. Great, so I could never meet them, even if I wanted to. Not that I could have anyway, since they lived in another part of the world when they were still alive. Elizabeth turned her back on you and your moms and stormed off, sprinting up the stairs into her room before anyone could stop her. Typical dramatic teenager. I had to go and talk to her. Mom immediately started to follow her, but Mom gently held her by the arm and shook her head. We should give her a little space to process it all. Your mom's head hung low, but she stopped walking. With Elizabeth now gone, the two of them seemed to remember you and Lee were still standing awkwardly off to the side. I'm sorry you had to see all that. It's not how I expected it would have happened when the time came. But since it's the topic of the day, Jules, is there anything you'd like to ask? You deserve to know after all. He patted your back and gave you a supportive look. Good question. Do you want to know? Okay. D6. 1 or 4, 2 or 5, 3 or 6. What the heck? Go away. I have my tablet on my desk telling me that. Get my attention. Button. I want to know. The princess nodded in St. Terrified, ready to talk. I can leave if you want to have things be private. I want you to be here. I can do that. I mean, honestly, you'd probably end up telling me anyway, so may as well have her there from the start. She stood a little closer to you in support, and you were glad to have her there with you. It made you feel a little stronger somehow. You turned to face your parents again, preparing yourself for what they were about to tell you. Ma was the first to speak, her voice quivering with emotion. You were adopted by us as a baby, but 2 years after Elizabeth. You used a different organization that time, and you were adopted within the U.S. We're sorry to tell you, Jules, your parents had also passed away, and no other family member took you in, if there were any. That's why we wanted to wait until you asked. We didn't want to suddenly drop that in your lap. We wanted you to be prepared.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Jules. He gave you a reassuring squeeze on the arm to show she was there for you. It's not your fault. You didn't kill them, right? Why would you ask that? Thank you for telling me. I did want to know, and now I do. Thank you for listening, Jules. If there's anything else you want to know, all you have to do is ask. We'll do our best to answer any questions you have.
Are you okay?
How are you feeling now? Are you going to be okay? He watched you closely, so judging how exactly she should react to what was going on. I mean, there's only room in this house for one overdramatic teenager, and Elizabeth's got that covered. And honestly, it's not like your birth parents raised you. These two women have raised you, and they didn't try to hide the fact that you were adopted. And when you did finally ask about your adopted parents, they told you the truth, straight out, no dissembling. And honestly, your birth parents have never been part of your life. And so, there's no need to cry. I feel fine. You spoke with a refreshed tone, as though you had a load off. Your mom smiled sadly, but you knew they believed you. You don't seem to have any words after that. Let's see their moms. Took a step closer to your mom's, glanced at them nervously. You wanted to show them somehow that all of this wasn't their fault. The last thing you wanted was for them to feel sad about it. You okay? Your mom still smiled at you softly, a little thrown off by the question.
Well,
we're only as good as you right now. You're a sweet child, Jules, being concerned for your moms like that. It's sad hearing that they died, but I guess I didn't know that. It doesn't upset me. You're my family. You always have been. Exactly. Which is why Elizabeth's reaction kind of scares you. At least it scares me. I mean, I get it. They're just, yeah. I guess for me, it doesn't make sense why you would be upset over your parents being dead when they've never been part of your life. Mom came over and wrapped her arms around you, giving you a tight hug. It didn't take long for Mom to join in, putting her arms around the both of you. You really couldn't ask for a better kiddo. We love you, Jules. More than we could ever say. You're so glad your moms were all right. I love you too. You let them hug you for as long as they needed, and it's a nice moment shared between you. They both pulled back eventually and grinned at you. You knew then that you all had each other, and you always would. A knock on the door had all of you snapping your head towards it for a moment before it exchanged confused looks. Mom pulled herself together with a deep breath and handed over to answer it while you hung back with Mom in the living room. You heard bits and pieces of conversation at the door, and Maya addressing guests happily. You strained your ears to hear more.
hello.
Hello, Cove, sweetie. I see you've come for a visit. Oh, yeah. Is Jules here? Mom glanced back over her shoulder as you exchanged your reaction as if you were at her desk. When you nodded your head, she turned back to her with a smile. They're right here. Come on in. Thanks, Mrs. Hunt. Phil stepped into the house, giving you a wave. Upon seeing everyone standing around, his eyebrows tipped a little.
Are you okay?
Is everything okay? Things seem kind of... Let's wipe our eyes, because it was emotional, especially hugging your moms like that, because you can cry happy tears. The tears have probably stopped falling, but Cove looks more confused than ever. Behind you indicated for him to follow you to the living room. You sat together with Cove on the couch while your mom and Lee headed out to give the two of you some privacy, and you explained to him what had just happened. Miles. Yeah, let's switch to that. You were glad he had stopped by, even if the timing was odd to him. It was perfect for you. The the hand you indicated for him to follow you to the living room. You sat together with Cole on the couch while your mom and me headed off to give the two of you some privacy and explain to him what had just happened. It took a little while to relay all the information, but Cole listened intently and nodded the whole time. Hey, the voice made you all look up and you saw your sister standing at the bottom of the stairs. She walked closer and didn't quite know what to do or what she was planning on saying.
So?
Would you mind going? I want to talk to just Jules. You can come back. It's not going to be forever or anything. Both seemed equal parts concerned and skeptical. Leaving you now wasn't a concept that thrilled him. Okay, we'll go along with it, see what she wants. If she wanted to talk to you in private, it's obviously about something important. You waited until the two of you were alone before fixing her with an inquisitive look. She just folded her arms, looking you over. Did Mom tell you about your parents too? My birth parents also died. We just broke eye contact after that.
Sorry.
Why did you want to talk to me? That's the reason I brought the question. It's something that should be obvious. I was worried about you. I was the one who brought it up, but I made you deal with whatever was left when I was gone. She sighed, glanced upwards for a moment before settling on you once more. I want to ask what happened about everyone breathing down our necks. Slightly surprised. She stuck her nose up a little at that, but her smile was soft. I'm okay, Elizabeth. It didn't upset me.
Hey.
I didn't realize to be that mature. Lightning spirits in her were quickly gone as she sat back into a scowl. You have to be born in the U.S. to become president. What? You had never heard of that dream of hers before. She nudged you back on the and continued. I get I was never going to be president, but it just feels weird, having stuff taken away, not even getting a chance at it. I don't like having to know that when I was born I was going to have a completely different life. So different, I can't even think about what it looked like in my head. I could have spoken another language, looked away from everything I've ever seen here, had someone else to my siblings. And then my parents died, and I was adopted, and the life I got became a totally new thing forever. I can't go back to what it was, even if I wanted to. Happiness settled between you and the person who became your sister. I don't really understand. I can't see that other stuff as being my life. The one I have is what my life is. Everything else is only what didn't happen. Elizabeth watched her seriously. She was still trying to make sense of this to you and herself. I don't know why today was the day. Nothing came up to make me ask questions. It's just something I've had in my head for a while. When it was just me and Mom in the living room, I just kind of said it finally, and there you go. She shifted from one foot to the other, relaxing her stance just a bit. She also spoke more gently. Learn about them and what happened doesn't change how I feel about our family, Jules. She went fixing you with sharp eyes. I'd already figured out a long time ago that moms weren't our biological parents. That wasn't news. It really doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Nothing about the family I was first born in would have made me decide that this wasn't my family anymore. If you had hoped you'd be free of my big sister's death, don't think you were so lucky. She bumped her shoulder against yours playfully, her lips tilted at the corners.
You'll always be my little sibling.
Let's go with jokingly groaned. You'll always be my family, too. Chuckling, she seemed pleased with how the conversation had gone in the end. We should let them come back now. They're probably wondering what's going on. It's been a long day for everybody. He gave her a nod. You can all come back now. Elizabeth fell up the stairs and soon heard footsteps as your moms returned. Lee and Cove came back down, too, poking their heads out from behind your moms. How did the talk go? Mom gave the two of you a small smile, but you could tell she was still worried. I hope there was no defamation happening down here. Hey, I hope you're alright. She came up towards you, a soft smile plastered on her face. Are you okay, Elizabeth? Elizabeth rolled her eyes and huffed a breath, and you knew she wasn't used to showing her vulnerable side.
Fine.
I'm doing fine. She nodded, but you could tell she didn't quite believe it. Well, no, since we're here, how about we do something together as a family? That sounds like an excellent idea. We should have some fun before the night's over. I love the sound of that. Yeah, okay. Why not? With a smile that threatened to choke her lips. You know, it must have been a good move, but she hadn't even teased Cove for being part of it. And no matter what she could have said about it, you wanted him to be here. Two of you had practically grown up together over the past 5 years. Who's got a suggestion? Should be something we can do here in the house with everyone in the same room. We could just put on a movie. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
It's good to me.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah. Well, alright. I'll cook up some popcorn just so you can pick a movie. Mom headed out to the kitchen and Ma turned to face the rest of you. What do we have in mind? Everyone else can decide. I'll watch anything. Anything but drama. We don't need any more of that today. There were some chuckles at her joke. He thought about what you would prefer to watch. Comedy. Just laugh. Cool. Perfect. With the basic film, Ma took the story into the DVD collection. She didn't know so Elizabeth was sidling up to you until she was right next to you, arm to arm. This is not so much room on the couch. I said I should go with Jules and I. This is our day. Wait, I'm going to sit with you too. I'm small. You won't even notice I'm there. Elizabeth raised a skeptical eyebrow. Not so sure about that. Ma stood back up with the DVD in her hand and expressed on her face.
Please?
I want to sit with the cool kids too. Surely there's room for one more, right? It might be a tight fit, but we can make it work. You could tell that Ma was teasing, and Elizabeth rolled her eyes at where this was going. She had expected an easy victory. I bet you want to sit there too, huh, Cove? Ma tapped Cove on the shoulder with the DVD case. He laughed awkwardly at her teasing. I don't need to sit on the couch. I can sit anywhere. It doesn't matter to me. Mom came back with a bowl of fresh popcorn and you inhaled the smell of a hot, salted snack. What's the skinny? We all want to sit with Elizabeth and Jules, but there's not enough room on the couch. Mom took that answer in stride and pursed her lips thoughtfully.
What a pickle.
That's definitely a problem. I suppose there's only one solution. Elizabeth and Jules will have to sit on the floor in front of the couch. That way there's spots behind them and on the floor at their sides.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
Rude.
What? No, the whole point was us getting the couch to ourselves. Sorry, that's the cost of popularity. Elizabeth groaned and crossed her arms over her chest in annoyance. Fine, Jules, you're with me in front. The rest of you can fend for yourselves. There was a mad dash. Mom and Lee raced for the couch behind you and Elizabeth, and Mom put the DVD in the player before joining them. Cove took a seat at your other side of the floor, giving you a small smile. Everyone soon quieted down, and the only sounds to be heard were of hands scooping up popcorn and munching it down as the movie began. In that moment, you couldn't have been more pleased to be part of the family you had. Aw, that's sweet. And I am done. Okay, so we got a lot of information today. We learned a bit more about our background, and we got to decide things about our character. So, yeah, I am definitely enjoying this. I hope you guys are too, if you're watching this, when you're watching this. So there's 7 DLC left. 7 DLC moments left, 5 of which are DLC. So next week, definitely, we'll be getting into the DLC. Again, I don't know how long it's going to take to get through all of these moments, because it depends on how long the moments are. So, yeah, definitely cool. Cool. Alright, so, I should be fine to stream next week as well. So I'd say at least 2 more weeks of this, maybe 3, depending on how long it takes to get through all the moments. Those lovely moments. Wonder if there's more. Yeah, here we go. This is from last week. And hey, he's blinking! And this is from today. And it's blinking again. Nice. So it looks like there's only one picture from the DLC. Look. So there's more pictures. Apparently there's more of Derek. No Baxter. We haven't met him yet. Then. So yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this. And if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you want more. And I've got plenty of other videos that I've uploaded. Playthroughs of other games that I've enjoyed. And there are links to the other games in the descriptions for those as well. I am not getting... this is not paid endorsement. This is just me saying, these are the games. If you want to play the games, here's where you can get them. Because it'd be kind of poor manners to say, hey, here's this cool game, and then I don't tell you how you can get it. So I hope you all have a good day, or whenever you watch this, and I will be back. See you next time.